Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm here with the second part of tea, and in this lecture I will discuss about tea processing. What are the various steps involved in tea processing? So firstly, tea processing. What is tea processing? As we know that firstly the fresh leaves are brought in the factory from the gardens, tea gardens. The leaf undergoes a process that converts the fresh leaf into black tea or made tea is known as टी प्रोसेसिंग. सो एक ऐसा प्रोसेस जिसमें फ्रेश लीव्स को कन्वर्ट किया जाता है ब्लैक टी में, और जो मेड टी है जिसे हम यूज़ करते हैं, दैट प्रोसेस इज़ नॉन एज टी प्रोसेसिंग. On an average, if we talk about average production from 100 kg of fresh leaves, we will get a 22 to 25 kg of tea after processing. So on average, 22 to 25 kgs of made tea is manufactured from every 100 kg of fresh tea leaf. तो इतनी production होती है tea की, processed tea की, from 100 kg of fresh tea leaves. Commercially, tea may be divided into following types. Like we have different types of teas, like black tea, then green tea, oolong tea, brick tea, white tea, and yellow tea. So there are different types of tea on commercial level. It depends upon the type of manufacturing, type of flavor, type of oxidation. So iske basis pe tea ke different types hai. So these are basic different types of teas which are available commercially. If we classify tea, so basically we divide it into three types on the basis of oxidation process. Firstly, green tea. Green tea is non-oxidized tea. इसमें कोई भी oxidation नहीं होता है. तो ये further दो तरह की होती है. One is white steam tea and second one is the yellow stack tea. Second comes the oolong tea. Oolong tea is semi-oxidized tea. तो इसमें जो ऑक्सीडेशन है पार्शियल ऑक्सीडेशन होती है इस टी में. फाइनली कम ब्लैक, रेड और फुली ऑक्सीडाइज्ड टी जिसमें फुली ऑक्सीडेशन होती है. इट इज़ फर्दर डिवाइड इनटू कंप्रेस्ड ब्लैक टी और टी ब्रिक्स बाउल टी. सो ये डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ टीज़ हैं ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फर्मेंटेशन और ऑक्सीडेशन प्रोसेस. Steps involved in tea processing. So there are various steps which are involved in synthesis of black tea or preparation of black tea, which include withering, rolling, oxidation or fermentation, and drying or firing. So these are the steps which are involved in tea processing. Firstly, withering. It refers to wilting of fresh green tea leaves and is the most important process. So in this step, the water content of leaves gets reduced by 50 to 70%. The purpose of tea, all tea undergoing withering is to reduce water content by 50 to 70%. So this is the main motive to put the leaves under withering process, जिससे कि जो water content है वो reduce हो जाए leaves में 50 to 70%. So for this we have special aerated rooms जिसमें hot air blow की जाती है और जो leaf का water content है उसे evaporate किया जाता है. That results in this withering process. We can do this process in open sunlight also. So this makes the leaf flaccid, pliable and prepares this for further processing. So इस step के बाद जो leaves हैं वो flaccid हो जाते हैं. They can be molded and prepares this for the further processing steps. The degree to which withering is to be carried out will depends upon the method of manufacture. So कितना withering करना है वो depend करता है method of manufacture पे. The percentage wither is 65 to 68% in orthodox or classical tea and 70 to 72% in, that is CTCT, stands for crushing, tearing and curling. So इस process में जो कि modern day में हम use करते हैं, इसमें withering process है that is done up to 70 to 72%. So in this withering process, chlorophyll begins to degrade and caffeine level rises. इसमें chlorophyll का जो content है वो reduce हो जाता है, chlorophyll degradation start होता है, flavor और जो aroma है वो develop होता है during withering process. Longer withering develops more aroma and flavor. and can be withered outdoor also in sunlight or dark hot rooms. इसे हम outdoor condition में भी wither कर सकते हैं, means reduce the water content in leaves. In the sun dehydrate fast. जो tea leaves है वो sunlight में ज़्यादा जल्दी dehydrate होते हैं. And the moisture level goes down to 30% by passing hot air under trough for 12 to 18 hours. तो जो special aerated rooms है वहाँ पे hot air blow की जाती है, that is for 12 to 18 hours, जिससे जो moisture level है वो नीचे गिर जाता है up to 30% on placing freshly picked leaves thinly spread over the withering racks. तो special racks होते हैं जिसके ऊपर इन leaves को रखा जाता है. इसको हम open sunlight में भी dry कर सकते हैं, wither कर सकते हैं. So type of tea and duration of withering. So firstly we have black tea. It requires 12 to 18 hours of withering process. Then comes oolong tea, which is semi-oxidized tea. This is semi-oxidized tea. It requires 30 minutes to 2 hours duration. Next comes Chinese green tea, which requires 2 to 4 hours of withering. Then comes Japanese green tea, which requires 30 to 60 minutes of withering. Then yellow tea, which requires 2 to 4 hours of withering process. Next step in tea processing is rolling. The withered leaf is passed on to the rollers to cause sufficient damage to the individual cells and to initiate enzymatic oxidation. So the main motive of this step is to injure the leaf so that the cell sap comes out of the leaf cells. It is done for 30 minutes and the rolled mass is removed in aluminum trolleys to filter the broken leaves and fine particles. The broken leaves and final portion of the leaves are allowed to pass through the perforation. We have some special perforation plates जिससे जो छोटे छोटे pieces हैं tea leaves के वो वहाँ से perforation के through separate किए जाते हैं. Whereas the remaining coarser जो larger size के leaf portions हैं they are subjected to heavy rolling again. So उनको फिर से roll किया जाता है. Sometime a third rolling may be given. अगर जो leaves के कुछ pieces still they are in larger size तो उनको फिर से roll किया जाता है for the third time. A continuous rolling causes more extensive cell damage and thoroughly exposes the catechin to the enzyme, that is polyphenol oxidase, which is very important enzyme जो कि oxidation process में involved होता है tea की. Then the rolling depends upon type of leaf, degree of wither, roller speed, pressure, temperature and type of tea required. So these are the various requirements जो रोलिंग प्रोसेस है इन स्टेप्स के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन दीज स्टेप्स. The manufacturing method used are: first is orthodox method, which uses non-cutting rollers for rolling process. Second is the CTC method, that is crushing, tearing and curling method, which uses rotor vanes. We have special rotor vanes and cutting rollers to tear the tea leaves. Then the third method is the lorry tea process, abbreviated as LTP, which uses hammer mill type cutter, that is rotor vane. इसमें भी rotor vane को use किया जाता है to break down the tea leaf into spinal particles. The CTC maceration improves some chemical substances in tea leaves, that is theaflavin and thiarubigin content, which increases the briskness, brightness and thickness of black tea. Then in orthodox type of tea, it adds more caffeine and volatile flavor compounds, which makes the tea with superior flavor. So orthodox में जो leaves को roll किया जाता है orthodox method में वो increase करता है caffeine का content ज़्यादा और tea को बनाता है superior in terms of flavor. The CTC, that is crushing, tearing and curling method of tea preparation or rolling, being more economic, ये ज़्यादा economic है and is popular in India. So mostly we follow this CTC method, that is crushing, tearing and curling method of tea rolling. The third step in tea processing is oxidation or fermentation. It is the most essential step of tea processing. The most important property of tea, like liquor-like characteristic, develops in this step. So जो liquor की तरह characteristic है tea की वो develop होती है इस step में. If we talk about some secondary metabolites, like we have flavonols, flavonol glycosides, polyphenolic acids and apsides which are known as total polyphenols. So ये जो chemical substances है they make about 30% of dry weight of tea shoot. तो tea shoot में ये चीज़ें present होती हैं if we talk about its dry weight by 30%. जो flavonoids हैं वो हैं polyphenolic compounds that are ubiquitous in nature and are categorized according to chemical structure into flavonols, flavonones, isoflavonones, catechins, anthocyanidins, cyanidins and chalcones. तो flavonoids को हम इन categories में divide करते हैं on the basis of their chemical structure. The structure of flavonoid, the flavonoid are possessing 15 carbon atoms, 2 benzene ring joined by a linear 3 carbon chain. तो इसमें 3 कार्बन की एक चेन होती है, this one, जिससे ये joined होते हैं. The skeleton can be represented as C6, C3 or C6 system. So this is the basic structure of flavonoids. Flavonols or catechins are the major compounds that are oxidizable in the leaf. तो जो oxidation होती है leaf में chemicals की वो हैं 2 chemical, flavonols or catechins, which undergoes the process of oxidation. Then epigallocatechin, which is the type of catechin that is abbreviated as EGC, and epigallocatechin gallate, abbreviated as EGCG, are the predominant catechins present in tea leaves. So ये 2 important catechins present होते हैं tea leaf में. Catechins are basically polyphenolic antioxidant plant metabolite और ये major building blocks होते हैं tannins के. They are also known as cyanidins, and these compounds are most common in seeds and skin of fruit that are not fully ripened. As fruit mature, the phenolics on the seed surface combines with other compound to form seed coat. Catechin on enzymatic oxidation forms thiaflavin and further oxidizes to give rise to this thiarubicins that is present in tea also. So fermentation employed to denote enzymatic oxidation, by which these polyphenols gets oxidized with the help of enzyme, that is polyphenol oxidase, which is very important enzyme involved in this oxidation process. So under oxidation process, the color of leaves changes from green to brownish color. If we talk about polyphenols, so they can be categorized into 2 categories, that is phenolic acids and non-flavonoids. I will not go into the detail. We will only focus on flavonoids. Flavonoids are categorized into 2 categories, xanthins and anthocyanins. So anthocyanins are further of different types that includes flavonols, isoflavones, flavones, flavonols. So these are various flavonoids. Polyphenolic oxidase, including yellow colored thiaflavin, and which is a red color substance, and a brown color pigment, that is thiarubicin, which starts developing within the leaves at this stage. So this fermentation, that is oxidation of these polyphenols, converts, that is basically catechin, give rise to this thiaflavin. Thiaflavin again on oxidation give rise to another pigment, that is thiarubicin. और ये जो 2 chemical substances हैं, इनकी वजह से जो tea है that gives a special unique flavor, color or aroma. So thiaflavin provides briskness and brightness. Then various fraction of rolled leaf are spread on clean cement floor or other suitable platforms in layer of 2.5 to 10 cm thickness. तो जो rolled leaf है उनको फिर spread किया जाता है एक proper cement floor में या फिर special platforms में, जहाँ पे इन्हें ferment किया जाता है for 2 to 4 hours. So like this we have these platforms जहाँ पे हम rolled leaves को spread करते हैं. These are allowed to ferment for 2 to 4 hours under high humidity, that is 60 to 70%, and low temperature, that is 24 to 27 degrees Celsius. So ये condition चाहिए होती है fermentation के लिए, that is high humidity and low temperature. The color of the tea leaf changes from green to bright coppery red. Due to this process, fermentation process, जो green color है leaf का वो change हो जाता है bright coppery red में. It assures strength, brightness, briskness, or good color and quality of the liquor, tea. We can say tea, liquor. So ये fermentation का process ये सारी चीज़ें assure करता है. Over fermented leaves may produce colory liquor, no briskness, and very poor quality. So over fermented leaf is not good. So it will increase its color and provide less briskness and very poor quality. Fermentation using rotating drums has been introduced, which yields uniformly good grade of tea. So nowadays we are using these rotating drums. जो ये rotating drums हैं ये uniformly ferment करते हैं leaves को और जिससे हम अच्छी yield obtain करते हैं after this fermentation process, and this process is also uniform. Less oxidized teas tend to retain most of the green color. So जो less oxidized tea है उसका green color retain रहता है and vegetal characteristics are also retained due to lower production of polyphenols. So जो oxidation होता है, जो production है polyphenols का वो बहुत कम होता है if leaves are not fermented. So green tea is not fermented. A semi-oxidized leaf has brown appearance and produces yellow amber liquor. So जो semi-oxidized tea है, the best example is the Oolong tea. So इसमें भी जो color है that is amber color, yellow amber color, liquor like color is produced by the semi-oxidized tea, which is the Oolong tea. This is the photograph of Oolong tea, which is semi-oxidized tea. This is the color after its preparation. This slide shows various type of teas. So firstly we have leaves and buds. The leaves which are directly steamed and dried, then they will give rise to the tea which is known as white tea. It is not fermented tea. The next, leaves and buds are withered. Then they are pan fried or steamed, rolled. So this is same as that of the black tea, but they are dried directly. They will not undergo the process of fermentation and give rise to the green tea. So जो green tea है इसमें कोई भी fermentation नहीं होती है. Then in second type of tea, leaves after withering they are rolled. Then they will undergo the process of oxidation, which is a semi-oxidation, not that much as that of the black tea. So it is semi-oxidized. Then they are pan fried or dried. It will give rise to a tea which is known as Oolong tea. So it is a semi-oxidized tea. Then the third one, after withering process, leaves are rolled. Then they are fully oxidized. That we have discussed in previous slide. They will undergo the process of fermentation for 2 to 4 hours at high humidity and low temperature. Then they are pan fried or dried. Then it will give rise to the tea which is known as black tea that we use in our homes mostly. So the next step involved in tea processing is drying or firing. So the main motive of this step is to reduce the water content up to a maximum level. So this is the final stage of manufacturing of tea. The purpose is to reduce the water content of tea leaves down to 3 to 5%. So 3 to 5% तक जो water content है उसको reduce करते हैं step में. Termination of all enzymatic fermentation. So इस step में जो enzymatic actions हैं वो भी terminate हो जाते हैं, and preservation of chemical and flavor compounds. Drying occurs in oven-like rooms where the fermented leaves are laid out in thin layers and dried in current of hot air, that is of 90 to 100 degrees Celsius hot for 20 to 25 minutes. So जो टी लीव्स हैं उनको हॉट रूम्स में रखा जाता है जहाँ पे हॉट एयर ब्लो की जाती है and the water gets evaporated, और जो एयर का टेम्परेचर होता है that is 90 to 100 degrees Celsius. It is given for 20 to 25 minutes. Normally this process is known as first firing. इस प्रोसेस को फर्स्ट फायरिंग बोलते हैं, which removes 3/4 of the total moisture of the fermented leaves. तो मोस्टली जो मॉइस्चर है वो इसमें रिमूव हो जाता है इस प्रोसेस में. Next, the leaves are further fed into another dryer after cooling, and this is known as second firing. तो फिर से leaves को फिर से ड्राई किया जाता है, and this is known as second firing. This removes the remaining moisture. जो remaining moisture उसको remove कर देता है. The tea with 3 to 5% moisture content is the finished product. तो जो moisture content है that is 3 to 5% वो present होता है final finished product of tea में. The exact time of drying varies. That is subject to water content of the leaves prior to drying. For example, Indian black tea requires 20 to 30 minutes, while Oolong tea requires 5 to 10 minutes of drying. So जो tea है उस पर भी depend करता है drying process. Indian black tea requires 20 to 30 minutes, while Oolong tea required 5 to 10 minutes of drying. This is critical step because incomplete inactivation can accelerate deterioration of tea during storage. So this step is very important. Tea can turn abrasive and taste harsh if the leaves are dried too quickly. So ये जो process है, it should be taken out carefully because अगर हम इसको immediately harshly dry करते हैं leaves को, so it can spoil its taste and can destroy the taste, और जो commercial इसकी value है वो reduce हो जाती है if we dry the leaves too quickly. So these are the various steps which are involved in tea processing. First is plucking, then second step is withering, in which we reduce the water content, then third is the rolling by rotor vanes, then next step is fermentation, oxidation process, then finally comes the firing step. So this leads to the formation of black tea. Next comes grading. So tea particles are graded on the basis of their shapes and sizes as per the trade requirement. Involves many operations and is the last operation. So this is the last step. So machine sorting alone is enough. जो machine sorting है वो इसके लिए काफ़ी है, but hand sieves have also been used. तो जो hand sieves हैं उन्हें भी यूज़ किया जाता है for grading purpose. We have special machines जिसमें जो different sizes के tea particles हैं उन्हें collect किया जाता है and they are packed. The fire tea is sorted into different grades by passing them over a series of vibrating screens. We have different vibrating screens of different mass sizes. So they have different pore sizes, और different pore sizes से different particles जो उस size के हैं वो यहाँ से separate होंगे. There are 4 main sizes with whole leaf grades, then broken and fanning and the dust, which is the finest tea. The various grades of tea only denotes a certain size and appearance of leaves. Broken grade generally give darker liquor and stronger tea. Leaf grades are lighter color and less strong. So उस leaves के different sizes हैं वो different aroma और different color indicate करते हैं. जो finest particles हैं they will give a strong flavor and strong aroma. Next, if we summarize this whole process of tea processing, so it involves these steps. The first step is plucking. Freshly जो leaves हैं tea garden से pluck किए जाते हैं. That we use only the first 2 leaves or 3 leaves along with bud, which helps in formation of high quality tea or best quality tea. Then these leaves are undergo the process of withering, जिसमें जो moisture content है उसे remove किया जाता है. Then the leaves will undergo the process of rolling, जिसमें rotor veins के through जो leaves है leaf के sap को बाहर निकाला जाता है, damage किया जाता है leaves को. Then we use mostly the CTC method, that is crushing, tearing and curling method. Then these tea leaves are subjected to oxidation process or fermentation process, जिसमें जो polyphenols हैं वो oxidize होते हैं and they gives the liquor like characteristic. It depends upon this step. Then finally comes the drying process, in which most of the moisture is drawn out, और इसमें हम 90 to 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस की हॉट एयर को ब्लो करते हैं, जिससे कि जो मॉइस्चर कंटेंट है दैट इज 3 to 5% रिमेनिंग इन द फाइनल टी पार्टिकल्स. Then they are subjected to grading and are commercially available for the consumption. So this is the summarized process of tea processing. Next, black tea. The black tea is brownish or sometimes black in color. And we have various black tea leaf grades according to size. And firstly, the grades of black tea, that is orthodox tea, we have firstly the whole leaf tea. In this type of tea, that has not been broken or torn during production. So ऐसी tea जिसमें जो leaves हैं उन्हें छोटे छोटे pieces में break नहीं किया जाता है और torn during the production or tea processing. So that type of tea is known as whole leaf tea. And we have various examples of whole leaf tea, like we have fine tippy golden flowery orange Picoy grade 1, abbreviated as FTGFOP1. It stands for fine tippy golden flowery orange picoy grade 1. Similarly, we have FTG, that is fine tippy golden flowery orange picoy. So in this way, we have a variety of whole leaf tea. Then there is another tea that is FOP, flowery orange picoy. So these are the names used for this whole leaf tea. Then next we have broken leaf tea. As the name indicate here, the tea leaf that has been broken. Tea leaf that has been broken, but still they are in large pieces to be recognizable pieces. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि इन pieces को हम identify नहीं कर सकते हैं. So still they are to be recognizable piece. So this type of tea is known as broken leaf tea, and for this broken leaf tea we use the different terms as per the part used. Like we have BOP1. BOP1, it stands for broken orange picoy 1. That is broken orange picoy 1. And next we have BS, that is broken Souchong. And we have GBOP, that is golden broken orange picoy. GBOP, that is golden broken orange picoy. Then we have FBOP, that is flowery broken orange picoy, and BOP, that is broken orange picoy. So these are the various terms used for the broken leaf tea, in which we have used which leaf of the tea plant. On the basis of this, we use these different terms for broken leaf tea. Next we have fannings. So fannings, these are finely broken pieces of tea leaf that still have a recognizable coarse texture. So ऐसे leaves जो कि broken leaf से थोड़े और छोटे होते हैं, they are finely broken pieces of tea leaf that still have a recognizable coarse texture. So we can identify these leaf particles, and mostly this type of tea, black tea, is mostly used in tea bags. जो fannings हैं उसे हम tea bags में use करते हैं. That is tea bag. इसे dip करते हैं in hot water and milk water, and we get the instant tea. So that is fannings. And we have different types of teas. Like we have GOF, that is golden orange fanning. Then we have FOF, that is flowery orange fanning. Then next we have BOPF, that is broken orange picoy fanning. Next we have FBOPF, that stands for flowery broken orange picoy fanning. So these are the terms used for fanning tea, which is a type of black tea. Next we have dust. As the name indicates, it is much finer than fanning and is made up of tea particles left over from producing higher grades of tea. तो ये सबसे फाइनेस्ट पार्टिकल्स हैं, फाइनर पार्टिकल्स हैं टी लीफ के. जो भी चाय बनती है, जो हमने अभी तक ऊपर पढ़े टाइप्स, सो उससे जो डस्ट बचती है, दैट इज नोन एज टी डस्ट. सो इट इज the finer than fannings and is made up of tea particles left over from producing high grades of tea. तो जो high grades of tea production के बाद जो बचती है, that is known as dust. So this is the tea dust. And the terms used for tea dust, so we have OPD, that is orange picoy dust. Then we have BOPD, that is broken orange picoy dust. Then we have BOPFT, that is broken orange picoy fine dust. Then we have FD, that is fine dust. Then we have GD, that stands for golden dust, and OD, which stands for orthodox dust. So these are the various types of tea dust on the basis of leaf used or part used of tea plant. So this is the type of, or we can say, grades of black tea. Similarly, these are the types of orthodox tea. Similarly, we have the other type of tea that is mostly produced by that process, that is CTC, that is crushing, tearing and curling method. So the grades of CTC tea are also similar to that of the orthodox tea. For this we use the terms for broken CTC. We use the term BP, that is broken picoy. Then we have BOP, that is broken orange picoy. Then BPS, that is broken picoy Souchong. And FE, flowery picoy. Similarly, we use the term for fanning tea, that is produced by CTC method. For this we use the term PF, that is picoy fannings. Then we have picoy fanning 1, and then broken orange picoy fanning. Similarly, we use the term for dust teas, like we have PD, that is Picoy dust, then D, that is Churamani dust, then we have D1 dust 1, RD red dust. So these are various terms used for this black tea produced by CTC method, that is crushing, tearing and curling method. So this table shows the various next classification of black tea. If this is a summarized form of this classification, firstly we have whole leaf grade, which include twisted but not broken, as the name indicate whole leaf grade. So it include orange Picoy. Then we have broken grades, which are classified on the basis of different sizes of tea particles. Firstly we have broken leaf grade. It include broken orange Picoy, that is abbreviated as BOP. Then we have fannings, which include BOPF, that is broken orange Picoy fanning. Then we have dust grades, that is dust number. So these are the various types of black tea. Next comes green tea, which is very important, as it is mentioned here. It is unfermented tea. It is the tea which is produced without fermentation. So process for making green tea is shortest. Withering is done first, that is removal of water content from the tea leaf. Then oxidation process is skipped. इसमें oxidation नहीं होता है. That is fermentation. Fermentation is skipped in this tea preparation. The withered leaves are fired or pan fried to stop oxidation. तो जो withered leaf हैं उनको directly fire means dry किया जाता है या फिर pan fry किया जाता है to stop oxidation. The last step is to roll the leaves and dry them, and last time for the final step to get the final shape. Then the green tea leaves usually remain green because the color changes due to fermentation, or fermentation green tea की preparation में नहीं की जाती है. Tannin and caffeine content in green tea is higher than the black tea. These are lastly fragmented by mixing some important flowers which have special aroma, like we have Jasminum sambac. एक flower है जो इसमें एक special aroma add करता है, flavor add करता है with the dry tea leaves. Then it is mostly produced in China and Japan. In India, it is also produced. Better quality green tea consists of leaf and bud, then two leaves and bud, and so on. So we can use these parts of tea plant for the preparation of green tea. Some common green tea leaf terms. Firstly, we have gunpowder pearl tea. Here, we use the young leaves and buds which are rolled tightly into pellets which unfurl in the cup. So ये term भी use करते हैं हम green tea के लिए, that is pearl tea. It is very costly tea. Then second type of green tea is imperial tea. It contains loosely rolled pellets, जो pellets हैं tea leaf के, which are made from older leaves. So that is known as imperial green tea. So this is the photograph which shows imperial green tea. Then there are a lot of health benefits to drink or to take green tea, which are mentioned in this animated photograph. Next comes Oolong tea, which is partially fermented tea or semi-oxidized tea. And the process followed for this tea preparation is similar to that of black tea. It goes through a similar process like that of black tea, but it is a hybrid. It is a hybrid between green and black tea. It has a taste of green tea and color of black tea. So this tea has flavor of green tea, but the color of black tea. Withering is not required, and sometimes shaking is done to bruise the outer edges of the leaves instead of rolling. So इसमें withering की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत होती नहीं है और leaves को shake किया जाता है so that the edges gets injured or sap इससे बाहर आता है, so that it will undergo the oxidation process, which is not complete oxidation as that of the black tea. So these are various processes which are involved in Oolong tea processing, which firstly cultivating tea plant, then harvesting the tea leaves. Second, withering is also done sometimes. Then it follows the oxidation process, जो कि black tea की processing से कम होता है. Then kill green fixing, then rolling and drying, roasting, which is also known as firing, and then finally the packaging. The leaves are heated at a higher temperature to that they can be kept longer due to lower moisture content. So जो water content है उसको बहुत reduce किया जाता है ताकि इसे हम ज़्यादा समय तक store करके रख सकें. This type of tea is exclusively produced in Taiwan. So Taiwan में mostly ये जो Oolong tea है produce की जाती है world में. And if we talk about Taiwan, it is a country which is present in Asia. So this is the Taiwan in the map of Asia. It is the neighboring country of China, but China. Next comes white tea or unfermented tea. For this we use the young tips. So unfermented tea, which are made up of from very young unfurled leaf tips. These delicate young leaf and buds are covered with soft silvery white hairs. So that's why we use the term white tea for this tea. And this tea is very low in caffeine. इसमें जो caffeine का content है सबसे कम present होता है. So white tea, a low caffeine floral flavored tea, best enjoyed unsweetened. So this is low in caffeine. Next comes yellow tea or unfermented tea. This tea is processed similar to that of green teas, but with an extra production step known as manhuan or sealing yellow. So this step is additional step from that of green tea processing. The leaves are allowed to stack while damp in this process. जो leaves हैं उन्हें एक दूसरे के ऊपर stack रहने दिया जाता है for longer duration. So it will undergo mild or partial oxidation process. This tea gets its name as it looks like the straw colored liquid. Straw की तरह जो color है वैसा इस liquid का color होता है. That's why this is known as yellow tea. Next comes brick tea. So this tea is processed from the waste left after preparation of black and green tea. So ये जो चाय है ये बनाई जाती है उस waste product से जो बचता है after the processing of black and green tea. It may consist of leaves, stalk, or even small pieces of twigs or many coarse tea dust. So withering is not required in this tea preparation. This waste is softened with steam and then compressed into blocks or bricks that we can see in this photograph. This tea is mainly consumed in Tibet and exported by China. So mostly ये जो चाय है ये तिब्बत में यूज होती है and is exported by China. So this is a brick. इससे थोड़े थोड़े small amount में जो brick का इसको break किया जाता है and these small pieces are used for tea preparation. Next comes packing. So teas are very hygroscopic. ये water को जल्दी absorb करती हैं and rapidly absorb moisture. When sufficient quantities of tea are collected, these are either packed in plywood tea chests or multi-wall aluminium craft paper lined. So this is aluminium craft paper. इसके अंदर इसे पैक किया जाता है lined pager sacks and dispatched to the auctions. जहाँ पे इन्हें auction किया जाता है means they are sold out or packed into the tea packs of various forms for direct export or distribution, and after that they are ready for distribution into the market. Chemistry of tea leaves. If we talk about the chemicals which are present in tea leaf, so the composition of tea leaf, there are three principal components. First, the ethereal thiol oil, which is essential oil, provides aroma and flavor for tea. Then we have theine, that is an alkaloid, provides stimulating and refreshing quality, and third one, the polyphenols, which are tannins, basically provides bitterness and astringency for the tea. Theine, an alkaloid identical to caffeine, occurs in combination with tannins and is only released by fermentation. तो ये जो pigment है और chemical है ये release होता है after fermentation or oxidation. Indian teas have comparatively larger tannin content than Chinese varieties. Our tea is normally consumed for its theine content. So जो हम tea को consume करते हैं, that is consumed for this theine, and it has a stimulating effect. A cup of tea, boiled water, and tea leaves without sugar and milk provide 4 calories. So this is the energy content which is present in the teacup, which contains only boiled water and tea leaves without sugar and milk. A cup of tea with milk and sugar give us approximately 40 calories. So if the tea leaves are soaked for longer period, the tannin dissolved and the liquid becomes bitter and loses beneficial qualities. So ज़्यादा समय तक हम जो tea leaves हैं उनको soak नहीं करते हैं because they lose their tannin content और ज़्यादा bitterness होती है उस water में and loses beneficial qualities. Next, tea leaf contents. So about 77% of moisture is present in freshly plucked tender shoot or leaf, then 23% solid matter and 50% of solid matter is insoluble in water and composed of crude fibers, cellulose, starch and proteins. So ये चीज़ें इसमें present होती हैं. Remaining soluble half includes 20 amino acids, 12 sugars, 6 organic acids, about 30 polyphenolic compounds. So this is the chemical components which are present in the tea leaf. Mainly caffeine, that is 2.5 to 4.5%, then theine, that is 2.2 to 5%, then theophylline, which is present in fraction, tannins, which are present in 13 to 40%, they may reach up to the 28% content amount. So then it contains volatile oil and B complex, vitamin B complex and nicotinic acid. So these are the chemicals which are present in tea leaf. Then we have some tea producing regions in India. Like we have Darjeeling, Assam, Dwars, and Terai, Kangra, Nilgiri, and Annamalai Hills, Wayanad, Karnataka, Munnar, Travancore. So these are the various tea producing regions in India. Then types of Indian tea. Firstly, we have Darjeeling tea. It is the tastiest tea of highest quality and most expensive. So this is also known as champagne of tea. So this tea has fine flowery aroma, a light body and a taste reminiscent of muscatel flavor or musky spiciness. It is called champagne of the tea because of its rare quality, prestige and exclusivity. So इसलिए इसे champagne भी कहा जाता है चाय का. Darjeeling tea, and there are various varieties of Darjeeling tea also. Then comes Assam tea. This tea has a rich, full-boiled, deeper amber liquor with a brisk, strong and malty taste, making it ideal for the early morning cup. So we use this tea, and it is again very costly tea and a world-famous tea. Second flush Orthodox Assam tea are extremely popular for their distinctive taste and bright liquor. So जो second flush की जो leaves हैं और उन्हें orthodox process से बनाया जाता है, they are very popular for their distinctive taste and bright liquor-like color. Next type of tea, that is Dwars and Terai tea. This tea of West Bengal is characterized by a bright, smooth and full-boiled liquor that is lighter than Assam tea. So Dwars Terai region, which cultivate this special tea named as Dwars Terai region, the Dwars and Terai tea. Next, Kangra tea. Kangra is a district in Himachal Pradesh. The Kangra region is famous for its range of green teas, that is Hyson, Young Hyse and Quartz grades, then black teas like we have Picoy, Souchong, Quartz teas and Fannings, and globally renowned for their exquisite flavor. So it is a world famous tea, Kangra tea. Then we have Nilgiri tea. In addition to this, we have some other teas like Annamalai's tea, Wayanad tea, Karnataka tea, Munnar tea, Travancore tea. So I will not go into the details of these teas. The Garden Fresh Nilgiri tea. It is again very costly tea. Some diseases and insects pests which affects the tea plants. Firstly, we have rust of tea, which is caused by Cephalurose mycoida. Then we have Cephalurose virescens, which is a famous green algae that causes red rust of tea leaves. Then we have black rot of tea, which is caused by Corticium invisum. Then brown blight of tea, which is caused by Colitotrichum cameoli. Then pink disease, which is caused by Pellicularia salmonicolor. Then dieback of tea leaf, which is caused by Nectaria cinnabarina. Then black rot of tea leaf, which is caused by Rosalinia species. Then we have charcoal tot, which is caused by Astulina conata. So these are some disease causing agents which causes disease in tea plant. Next comes International Tea Day. We celebrate this day on 21st of May. 21st of May is celebrated as International Tea Day. This lecture was slightly longer than that of the previous lecture. Hope you will get some idea from this presentation about tea processing. If you have any questions, queries, and any suggestions, you can give it in comment section. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.